Hello, good afternoon. It's October the 20th, and I am here to speak about the Aries full moon. Satsangat here, Satsangat Astrology, and I will dive in immediately since we are almost on the full moon. So this full moon is all about the axis of Aries and Libra. So we'll find out what is all that about. But first of all, I would like to share with you my contact information and let you know that I teach a course of astrology where I not only teach you the elements, separate elements of the astrological zodiac, but tropical zodiac, by the way, but I also teach you how to use them in a synchronistic way. So learning how to interpret a chart is not just having separate elements. Maybe you have been studying different items of the astrological chart, but with me, you will learn how to put everything together and having them make sense for you. So don't hesitate to contact me. I can also email you the syllabus with everything that I teach. I also offer one-on-one consultations during this course. It's 2 times with me a month for 1 hour, where you can ask all the questions and I will answer them with examples and very deep explanations. So without any more, I will share the chart of this lunation. Let me find it first. Well, it's not, it's not there. Just a moment, please. Okay, here is the chart for the full moon in Aries. Remember that this full moon is also not only the maximum potential of the lunation, the Libra lunation that started on October 6th, but it's also completion of the 6 months cycle since April 11, 2021, when we had the new moon in Aries. So if you go back to your journal or any notes that you might have from 11th of April, you will probably find a certain relationship of some kind. So first of all, I always like to look at the elements, right? It is the elements of fire and air are predominant, which means that there is a lot of action and a lot of communication. And it is a cardinal chart by far, 11 points compared to 3 of the fixed and 2 of the mutable. So you can expect changes and very radical changes. So the ruler of the whole chart, I didn't calculate it. So, but the ruler of the moon is Mars, right? Which is with the sun opposite the moon. But I would like to start my my overview of the full moon by saying that this is the axis of Aries and Libra, which is the relationship axis, right? It is the birth, the initiation. Aries is the sign where we initiate a life, we initiate something, and having a full moon there is shedding a light of something that you are starting anew. It's like a birth, right, and you had that birth in April with a new moon. With a full moon, now you are accomplishing, you are completing, you are highlighting as well with all the moonlight this issue that you are working with. And this issue is about relationships. So you started with the new moon in Libra, and the new moon in Libra in October 6th was together with Mars, exactly. And coincidentally, it is also conjunct Mars. The sun is conjunct Mars. So opposite the moon, conjunct Aries. And I would like to talk more about Aries this time. And there is also a square to Pluto. So Pluto, it is prominent in the way that we are having a profound transformation with this change that we are experiencing, or that we are provoking or assuming, right, or completing. So there is a profound transformation in the house occupied by Pluto for you in your personal life. And that is triggered by this lunation. So the full moon forms then a T square, Sun, Mars, Moon, Eris, and T square, Pluto. So as I said, it's mainly about relationships. And this moon is a moon that will be the woman warrior, the mother warrior, right? Because the moon is the mother. It's also in mundane astrology, the moon is the public and the psyche of the public. So it is a full moon of probably struggles, right? Opposite Mars. So, and the cycle started with Mars as well. So it has been half of a month that you have been struggled with something in your life. Represented by the house occupied by Libra. But now you are kind of having the understanding, right? The revelation, the light shed on the accomplishment, the completion of that that started on October 6th. So, and on top of having this woman or mother warrior, it is together with Aries, which is, among other things, it's I have talked about Aries being the apple of the discord, right? I have been talking about Aries representing those who have been left out of the feast of the gods feast, right? So those that are relegated to the sidelines, those who are ignored or regarded as less, and that has been disadvantaged in the society, you know. Aries then being left out of the gods' feasts, she got resented and rebellious. So what did she do? She is, in fact, she is the counterpart of Mars. So we're having here an opposition between Mars, the male warrior power, right? And I'm not only talking about men, but I'm talking the yang energy and this female energy that she was the sister of Mars, right? Mythologically. So she is kind of the counterpart. And we have here the opposition between the yang, the sun, yang energy, the Mars, and then we have this feminine receptive energy, the moon with Aries. But Aries she could be feminine, but she is a warrior. She's a fighter. She is the feminine that has been relegated for centuries inside of our psyche, the moon. The moon also represents our psyche. So we are in a time when this woman warrior is reivindicated. We are rescuing the feminine side of humankind, because so far we have been living in a patriarchal system, society structures, and now we're trying to rescue this power, this feminine power that is so important in order to contribute to society. So there is also a power of regeneration of this woman warrior symbol, right? By Pluto squaring squaring almost exactly, right? Aries is 24 and 12 minutes, and Pluto is 24, 22 minutes going direct. So it means that they have probably last month or so, they have squared exactly. So we are in a time when this feminine power, this yin energy is being rescued and transformed and regenerated, right? So, and we can say that Aries is just coming back to life, right? She spends more than 500 years going around the zodiac. So she has been spending probably, I would say, more than half a century in Aries already. So all the people who live on Earth right now has Aries in Aries. So it is the rebirth of this feminine yin energy. The whole century is having this process of rescuing the feminine and the woman warrior, right? The assertive woman, the woman that can vote, the woman that can participate actively in society, the woman that fights for her rights, right? And now there are power struggles because Pluto is in the Capricorn, which are the structures, the system of society. So there are power struggles with society, right? Because Aries is trying to bring back that yin, that feminine energy that is inside of women as well as in men. Okay, so there is then a profound crisis of selfhood, right? Because Aries, the sign of Aries, represents the selfhood, the identity, in this case, with the full moon, there is the female identity. And trying to find a balance, right, with the opposite, with the sun and Mars and the yang energy that pushes forward. Here, there is a confrontation, if you want, and we are trying to find balance, finding the middle way, how to incorporate both the yin and the yang energies in order to make us whole. Also, another thing that I would like to point out is that they are both, the moon and Aries, they're both in the Sagittarius decan, which adds this component of faith, of expansion, of travel, of incorporating other cultures, of going beyond boundaries, right? And embracing others that are different, that are from different cultures, different faiths, or people global, the global citizen, the global identity, right? And especially this global understanding of the human being as such, right? With both the yin and the yang energy together, forming a whole human being, and a balanced one as well, because the new moon in Libra was looking for this balance. Now, I would like to say a few words about how this plays out in relationships, right? We have, as I said, this opposite masculine and feminine energy that are struggling against each other because of the Pluto T-square. We are having power struggles in our relationships, whichever they might be. It might be your partner, it might be any person with whom you relate one-on-one. So see, it's not just seeing the isolated components of the chart, but we need to consider the aspects, we need to consider the decan, we need to consider other factors that are playing out in this full moon. Of course, I am not able to take the whole afternoon to explain everything, but I think I came to a conclusion that makes sense. So now relationships get an understanding or a breakthrough through this light that is shining in the sky at night, big and bright, right? And it's about revealing the unconscious psyche, right? In the human personality, there is the sun, which is what you project, right? What you externalize, and what is very visible. The sun is the center of the solar system, is very visible. It's every day, it's up every day. But the moon is not open light every day, right? It is in its maximum light at the full moon. So it is for a short time, we can see what our psyche contains. And most of what is coming out through these breakthroughs, this relationship confrontations, is unconscious material that is coming up to light and helping us understand who we really are, because the sun with Mars may be very proactive in what we think we are, right? How we see yourself. But adding the through this confrontation, adding the psyche, the unconscious or subconscious of our being, we realize who we really are beneath all those layers of hidden material, right? So there is this confrontation between the conscious identification and the subconscious personality. And so there is, at this full moon, there is the potential clearly for a profound realization of personal needs, for self-discovery, for also realizing our passions, our hearts, our vulnerabilities, things that we usually don't want to face, don't want to see. So there is a kind of an upgrade in our identification or our personality of who we think we are. It's a self upgrade, right? A renewal. It's like a rebirthing of our personality, and we the way we accomplish that is through the other. I always explain that in full moons or any oppositions, in fact, what happens is that you see yourself in the face of another. So suppose you have your partner, right? And now your partner is opposing something to you, and you can see your own unconscious material on that reaction or that show that person brings to you. So as I said, always say, relationships are a revelation of who you are, and it's very important to become conscious in order to identify those hints, those images. Sometimes we see the other person behaving in a way that we disapprove. Well, generally that are things that we disapproved in ourselves, that we don't want to face sometimes, or we don't want to have. So, and this is a perfect opportunity for us to make changes and to become aware of who we really are underneath. So the other factor that I will analyze is Venus is the ruler of the sun and Mars and all that, and she is in a good applying a square to Neptune, right? This gives us an opportunity to receive inspiration to assimilate certain aspects of not only of our relationships, but our proper personality. Sometimes what happens in relationships is that we, with this square, we can see and incorporate, because it's the last quarter square, Venus to Neptune, incorporate the invisible threads of bonds that we have in relationships that we usually do not see. Sometimes they are very subjacent underneath, and we're not able to see them clearly, because but with Neptune is also our subconscious, right? It's Pisces, the 12th house, and Neptune, this ocean of the psyche that it's infinite to explore, right? So there are bonds in relationships that are we are unable to explain. They are intangible, they are spiritual, and this square may bring us the opportunity to find them, right? We have also Juno squaring, separating square from Neptune, and Juno is the committed relationships. So there are clashes, struggles, blocks in relationships because probably of those unknown aspects, hidden aspects, or mystery, right? The spiritual mystery, secrets that there are spiritual and that we don't know. So sometimes there is a need to change consciousness. And in fact, the square of Venus to Neptune is actually the crisis in consciousness. So it will help us become conscious of those, as I said, those invisible things. There could be illusions that become delusions, or hopes, you know, high spiritual hopes that become disillusions. Okay, so we have then the ruler of the moon of Aries is in Libra. Mars is Mars, right? And it's in Libra and is invisible because it's under the sun's rays. So this Mars not only is debilitated because of the Libra position, since it rules Aries, but it's also debilitated because of the sun, meaning that it could be passive aggression, right? And a certain level of violence, of aggressiveness or assertiveness, at least, that is not manifested, that is under, as I said, under the sun rays, that you are unable to express openly. And that may be affecting relationships, right? And that may be affecting also the burst of this woman warrior, this yin energy that is becoming assertive, right? So the Mars energy is subdued there, and is becoming more gentle, gentler than Mars normally is, because Mars in Libra needs to compromise, needs to consider the needs of the other, especially the needs of the woman, or the needs of the feminine energy within you, if you're a man, right? Feminine energy that you need in order to receive. So men could become softer and gentler, and in the negative way, it could be passive aggression as well. But Mars in Libra is very good to hold your horses, right? So that's mainly what I wanted to share, but I also would like to do a new share. Oh, okay, I'll find it. So here we have the chart of the United States of America, is the USA Declaration of Independence. And I would like to explain that how this full moon is reflecting perfectly the situation. We started with the new moon in Libra, and it was with Saturn, right? And Saturn is the ruler of the second house. In a country, the second house represents the Treasury Department, the assets of the country, and the values of the country. So this new moon in Libra was asking about a review of the money matters, values, and the country's value. We know that Congress has been working on a huge bill, economic program developed by the Biden administration, right? So this was the new moon. The new moon also had to do with collective bargaining, which was happening. Also, the Constitution, and that was also in the books when the Texas abortion law was challenged, and the opposing the opposition was appealing to uphold the Constitution, right? Then we talk about the 11th house of the country is also corporate assets, and we saw Facebook facing they needed to pay some amendments, billions of dollars, because of the Instagram and, well, in general, all the social media by Facebook affecting adolescents in many ways. We also saw international alliance issues, right, with China launching a missile that apparently went around the globe. Other things were with other countries as well. And geopolitics, the Congress is also 11th house, and there was the legislation being worked in Congress about the money supply for the country, which is also the 11th house. And there were all those political forces, protests against things. So now let's take a look at the full moon. The full moon falls in the 5th house, and that is about the diplomacy, ambassadors, and the educational system as well. You know that there are discussions in the educational system about wearing the mask, not wearing the mask, vaccination, not vaccination. So that is in the books right now. And we'll certainly see some diplomatic issues coming up pretty soon. It also is the house, the 5th house is also the country's popularity, which is going down, right, around the world. It's been going down for a long time, but it's more obvious lately. And there is also, according to Laura Holding, it's also about imperialism and the ammunition of that we dispose when we are under attack. So as you see, it's also the place of enjoyment in places like parks and festivals and places of enjoyment. So we may see events developing in those areas with this full moon. So if you find any events, or if you like to comment, I would appreciate if you share with me in the description below and the comments. Let me share with you the contact information again, so you can email me if you like to make comments about my presentation of the full moon in Aries. I also post daily in my blog, Satsanga Astrology, blogspot.com, and Facebook and the other social media. So I hope this gave you an idea, food for thought. And I hope you can comment and let me know what's going on with relationships. So thank you very much for watching, and happy full moon.